Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on the Procurement WorkCenter coming in September 2026. Thank you for attending. For our agenda today, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what to expect. I'll then turn it over to Eric Palmer, a member of our fabulous training team, and he will preview the new Procurement WorkCenter and talk about a couple of other new features in procurement. We will wrap up the webinar with a Q&A session and next steps. If you have requests for additional enhancements beyond what you see today, please do enter a help desk ticket rather than entering them in the chat. This will ensure that your request is captured, and we do plan to review these requests after we go live with the upgrade and stabilize on the upgraded system. In this webinar, we are featuring enhancements to the procurement functional area as a result of the Cardinal Upgrade. It might seem like a lot of information today, but please keep in mind that most of what you do today is not changing. The Work Center is really just a new way to navigate, and we hope it will make your daily tasks more efficient. If we don't discuss a particular cardinal function, it is most likely unchanged as part of the upgrade. We are, however, updating all job aids and all of our other training materials, which will be made available to you prior to the upgrade. Retaking training is not required, although you are certainly welcome to take any of the training that's offered on the CoVLC. Okay, so before I turn it over to Eric, let me just tell you a little bit about the upgrade project. The Cardinal team is enhancing both the FIN and HCM applications, upgrading these applications to the latest PeopleSoft releases. We started the project in September 2025, and we do plan to go live with the upgraded system on September 8th, 2026. The upgrade includes numerous enhancements aimed at improving the user experience and overall system functionality. Our summer webinars are designed to help you become familiar with many of the new features of the upgrade. I'm now going to turn it over to Eric.
Thanks, Dana. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Palmer, and I'm a member of the Cardinal training team. And with me, of course, is Vijaya Kakani, our procurement module lead for Cardinal post-production support. And we'll be hearing from him a little bit later in our Q&A. So in case you didn't know, Cardinal Financials overall is getting a fresh new look for fall. The current version has a text-heavy layout, long menus, lots of lists in there with nested folders, and there's a lot of scrolling and hovering and clicking to move through it, but the upgrade will change all that. The Cardinal Upgrade look, as you can see from this image, will have a clean, modern feel with simplified tile-based navigation and puts you just one click away from key tasks that you perform daily. Now, I should emphasize here that there aren't really a lot of big changes. I think Dana mentioned that earlier with Cardinal Procurement. There is this new look and feel, there's some navigation changes, and a few other little things that we'll talk about, but most of the pages and the processes that you work with will not be changing with this upgrade. Now, one of the biggest changes to navigation is the introduction of WorkCenters, and that includes a new WorkCenter for procurement. So let's take a few minutes to watch a video that will provide us a little bit more information about Cardinal Financial's WorkCenters. This video will feature Kate, who is a voucher processor. Now, while Kate will be talking about using the accounts payable or AP WorkCenter, the benefits and the functionality that she will highlight apply to all of the Cardinal Financial's WorkCenters. So with that said, let's watch the video.
Meet Kate. She's a voucher processor. And probably just like you, Kate has to go to a number of different pages in Cardinal to complete her daily work.
It would be so nice to have one place to go to access the tasks I need to do today. I probably get even more work done.
Guess what, Kate? We are introducing Cardinal WorkCenters, a centralized hub for completing your daily tasks. WorkCenters reduce navigation time and improve productivity. You can review action items that contain counts, so you know how many require attention. Apply flexible filters, complete tasks, and run reports and queries all in one place. Yes, you heard right, all in one place. Starting from the Cardinal Financials homepage, let's take a look at the Accounts Payable, or AP, WorkCenter tile and go through one of Kate's daily tasks.
As a voucher processor, one of my daily tasks is entering vouchers. This includes searching for the supplier, entering the voucher, and finally, monitoring my voucher and others for errors.
Let's take on those tasks, Kate. Again, start by clicking the AP WorkCenter tile. Using the navigation panel on the left, open the Links section. From here, click the Vouchers folder. Since we first need to search for suppliers, let's scroll down a bit to the Review Suppliers page to review supplier information. After completing your review, you'll be ready to enter the voucher. To do so, refer back to the Vouchers folder. Click the Regular Entry page. Add any needed information and click Save. This will submit your voucher for processing. Now, Kate can complete her last task, which is monitoring vouchers. Scroll up to My Work and click Budget Check Errors under Voucher Exceptions. As well, monitor your submitted vouchers by clicking Vouchers Submitted for Approval. Kate can also access key AP WorkCenter queries and reports. For example, she can run the Voucher on Payment Hold query to ensure no vouchers have a payment hold. And she can run the Prompt Pay report to verify her agency's vouchers are paid on time.
Thanks, narrator. WorkCenters really can bring my tasks into one workplace.
Exactly, and those benefits apply for each of Cardinal Financial's configured WorkCenters, including GL, AP, EX, AR, Billing, Procurement, Projects, and Contracts, which again are located on the Cardinal Financial's homepage and display based on your security roles. You can find everything you need to know and more about all of the financial WorkCenters located on the Cardinal website. Cardinal Financial WorkCenters, your one-stop shop to get your tasks done.
All right, so as we saw in the video, WorkCenters both bring together items requiring attention and provide easy access to frequently visited pages and the most frequently run queries and reports. In a few minutes, I'll do a live demonstration of the Procurement WorkCenter and the other new features. But first, let's go over a few slides to help us see what these new features are all about. The Procurement WorkCenter is designed to be a central hub for buyers, purchasing managers, sourcing collaborators, contract administrators, and approvers, and provide easy access to their work. The WorkCenter provides links to pending approvals, frequently visited pages, and again, most frequently run queries and reports. So this WorkCenter is designed to reduce navigation time and help you work more efficiently. Again, I'll cover this we'll walk through this WorkCenter in more detail during the demo. Now, one change that we'll see in the demo has to do with approving P-card transactions. So if that's one of your jobs, instead of using the pagelet on the Cardinal Financials homepage, these will be done in the My Work section in the Procurement WorkCenter. WorkCenters also include filtering options, both default filters and temporary filters that allow you to tailor the data that shows up on your screen. A job aid will be available at Go Live that'll walk you through all the steps for these filtering options and will be a helpful reference to you as you begin to use the Procurement WorkCenter. And in a few minutes, we'll walk through an example of each of these filters. What else is changing? Well, in addition to the new look and the new Procurement WorkCenter, there are a few other changes: approvals and delegation. Pending approvals for requisitions, purchase orders, and change orders will be available in the new Approvals tile, as well as in the Procurement WorkCenter. And we'll look at both of these during the demonstration. Delegation of approval authority will now be managed using the Delegation tile, available on your computer or your mobile device. This includes the ability to delegate approval of specific types of transactions to someone else, and also to receive delegated approval authority yourself. In the current system, you can set up alternate user IDs. Well, this feature is an improvement on this because now you can actually delegate specific types of transactions rather than an all or nothing approach. And you'll see what I mean, I think, when we walk through this in the demonstration. And that is right now. It is time for our live demonstration of the Cardinal Upgrade. So I'm going to share my screen. So I have logged into our Cardinal training environment, and you can tell by the green Cardinal logo up in the upper left-hand corner here. So all of this is old data, and it's been mocked up and masked as much as we can so that as we walk through this, keep that in mind. Okay, well, we're going to start right here on the upgraded Cardinal Financials page. This is what Cardinal Financials will look like after the upgrade in September. Now you can see that a lot of these words are familiar, a lot of the titles that are on the screen. Better scroll down here so you can see procurement down here. But now everything is organized by tiles. And which tiles display, as we said in the video, will vary based on the user's security roles. So you may have more or less than what's on the screen now. Cardinal Financials basically now looks like Cardinal HCM. So if you use our human capital management modules, if you're familiar with that, this may look similar to. For example, in the upper right-hand corner, we have the nav bar button. And this is a button that looks like a compass. And when we click here, and then we come down to our menu, this is essentially the main menu that we have in the current version of Cardinal Financials, with all of the submenus and pages organized the same way. Now with the upgrade, we can also customize this if we like. So we have a little personalized button in the upper right corner here. And if we wanted to, we could change this to putting things in alphabetical order, or we could change the order of our nav bar tiles. We have a few different options here we can change. We can add new nav bar tiles, add specific pages. So a lot of customizing that we can do here. But let's take a look at the Procurement WorkCenter, what we've been waiting for. So it's down here. I'm going to click on this. And I'm just going to take a moment to review the overall page layout before covering other details. The left side of the Work Center is called the Navigation panel. And this panel controls what displays on the right, which is the Transaction panel. The Navigation panel includes sections in orange. And within those sections are bolded words, which are folders. And the folders contain pages that include lists of items that may need attention or frequently used pages. The Procurement WorkCenter in particular includes 5 sections. They are My Work, here's My Work, My Approvals, there's those, Links, all of our links, quite a few folders in here, and then Queries, and Reports / processes. All right, and you'll notice when I click on links here that we have all of our different procurement functions are included in here, including requisitions, purchase orders, sourcing events, procurement contracts. All of these are items, even if you're one of the people who does items, all of these things are included here in the links. All right, but we're going to start by looking at My Work. The My Work section is a quick list of work to be done. And in the Procurement WorkCenter, it's used for P-card approvers to be able to quickly access transactions to be reviewed and approved. And as we said in the slides, this replaces the P-card approvals pagelet that we have in the current system. Again, only P-card approvers are going to see this My Work section. Okay, but let's take a look at it and how this works. So right now we can see that I have 32 P-card transactions listed, right, as I go through here. And this is a place where I can go in and maybe that's a little unmanageable. Maybe I have even more. I have a lot of work. So what I can do is actually filter this list. I can take this down. And as I was saying before, we have 2 different types of filters. The first one is our temporary filter. We'll do that first. And we do that by clicking this filter drop-down arrow. So let's walk through this. I click the filter drop-down. I can filter by just one employee if I want. I click done, and now my list is a bit shorter. It's down to 11 rows instead of 32. You'll notice though that the number 32 still shows up over here on the left-hand side. I'll show you how you can change that number if you need to. Again, this is a temporary filter, so if we click out of here, if I just click on this list again, it's going to reset it. So now I'm back to 32 rows. Let's say that I want to, by default, see a more specific subset of this list. So let's do that same filter, but now we're going to do it as a default filter. The way that we do that is right here in the navigation bar where it says personalize. I can come down here and click edit filters. And we only have one filter in this particular work center. So I'll click here. And again, to do the same thing I did last time. Done, and then done again. And now there it is. The number 11 shows up here over in the navigation bar. Counter goes down to that. I still have 11 rows. So in some ways it's similar. If we were to leave the work center, for example, click here on the home button, do something else, log out, go to lunch. Then I come back in, click Procurement WorkCenter again. This is the default filter. It's always going to be going back to that filter until I go back in and change it here. So depending on what your needs are. Also, you can see one of the great things about the My Work section is that we can take action right away. So we can actually click on this more arrow right here. Now that I have this list filtered and I get this particular transaction opened up in a new tab. And I can go in and review whatever I need to review. And once I'm ready to go, I can click approve. Right, and now I've changed it and save it. All right, refresh my screen, and now my filter has been refreshed. Now I'm down to 10 in my list. So a great way to kind of walk through and work through things. I know that if it's on this list, it needs to be addressed. Now let's take a look at my approvals. So this is our next section here under my approvals. I'll close my work for now. Under my approvals, this is where we can review and approve requisitions or purchase orders / change orders. Let's go to our requisitions right here. So I have several different requisitions as an approver. I can see that I have from PR Test User 2, right? So I can click on this, and of course I can quickly approve, but I'm responsible. Of course, I'm going to go down and do a few other things before I just click approve. I can click on individual line items. So obviously there's just one line here, but if I have multiple ones, I can click on each of the lines. I can take a look at what's going on here. So you'll notice familiar kind of look, but now it's organized in a different way. So if you do a lot of approvals, the My Approvals section is a nice place where everything is put into place. And this takes the place of what we were doing before with the work list. So I'm going to click header here, come back out. Also, one extra note with the approval chain, if I want to add the buyer as an approver, I can click approval chain. And this is a little bit of a different layout than what we had before, but I can come in here and add them to my further actions. I can add another approver there. So there we have it. I've done all my research, done everything I need to do. I'll just go ahead and click approve. Now let's take a look at the link section. So links provide quick access to our commonly used pages based on whatever access you have today. So instead of using the traditional navigation, you can access it all here. Let me close my approvals and take a look at links. As you see in here, the section has folders which contain our most commonly visited procurement-related pages. So for example, purchase orders. Let's say that we do a lot of work with purchase orders, or a buyer. I'm a buyer, I create purchase orders. I can open up here and click Add Update POs. But notice also reviewing, documenting status, all of these different things are found. All of my different commonly used purchase order pages are found right here. So I can click here and add a purchase order, click Add, and there it is. This should look familiar. The fields, the buttons, the links, they're all here. As we were saying before, not a lot has changed outside of navigation. In some cases, they may be laid out differently. The fonts may have changed. And one thing I didn't mention before, but that would be helpful on this screen, is you'll notice right here, there's a little button, the Work Center item list, right? Our navigation pane can be hidden or reopen this two-line button here. So now I can see my whole screen a little bit easier. So everything works the same. No functionality has been taken away, just a little easier to get to. And same thing with, requisitions, receipts, whatever work that we're doing in procurement, it's all here. All right, let's take a quick look at the queries and reports section. What we have listed here are our most common queries, our most frequently run procurement queries, broken into a few categories. And you'll notice that there, as we open this up here, for example, our let's say our P card queries, you'll notice that they're listed here by description rather than by name. All right, so we have the name up here, but really they're kind of broken out by description here. But let's say that you're looking at this list of queries, you're like, that's great, but it doesn't, I have a query that I run all the time, not on this list. That's okay. We also, within our other links folder, we have a query viewer. Of course, query viewer, we know that we can just do a quick search. If I do V_PR and search, all our queries are still here. No functionality has been removed. We can run them just like we did before. The same kind of thing goes for reports and processes. We have a few that are saved down here. Let me close out my queries. There we go. Reports and processes. The folders here have our most commonly run procurement processes and reports on sourcing events, procurement contracts, purchase orders, requisitions, and receipts. And you can run these reports just right here. Okay. All right. Two other things I want to take a look at before we're done. We're going to leave our work center behind for a bit. Click the home button right here to navigate out. And we're going to take a look at two other tiles. The first one, really briefly, is our approvals tile. You'll notice right here on the approvals tile, there's a number in the corner that says 10. That's how many approvals I have waiting in my queue. Okay, that's good to know. It tells me I have a little bit of work to do. So when I come in to the approvals tile, you'll see purchase orders and requisitions, and also just an all list. So I can go through each of these if I want. Same thing that we saw before in the work center with my approvals, we can do right here directly from the approvals tile. So if you go into Cardinal Financials, you see that number, you know, hey, there's a little bit of work to do. And again, yes, broken by purchase order, requisition, and we have numbers for each of those. And this is really true of all your approvals. So it's not just procurement approvals that'll show up in here. If you have other ones, they'll be here as well. That's also true of delegations. And let's take a look at the delegations tile. I mentioned that earlier as a new feature. So I want to make sure that we have a chance to look at that. So approvers can delegate their approval authority to someone else. The person you delegate to can approve or deny designated types of transactions on your behalf. This is used for anything that goes through a workflow. So for procurement, it's requisitions, purchase orders, and change orders. And again, please note that just like everything else I've talked about and demonstrated today, there will be detailed job aids available upon go live. So let's take a look at this. The delegations tile. When I click on the delegations tile, I get, so it's like a genie, 3 more wishes. I get 3 more tiles that pop up here. Create delegation request, which is used to delegate approval authority. We're going to look at this one shortly. My delegates, which shows what you have delegated using the first tile. And my delegated authorities, which shows any type of transactions delegated to you from another approver. So since we're creating a request, I'll click Create Delegation Request. And you'll notice our steps are listed up here at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 step process. So let's say, for example, that I'm going on vacation today and I'm not going to be back for a long time, well, a week and a half. And I can put down here, and notice you can leave it blank for open-ended delegations. So I just want somebody else to have this authority all the time. But this is temporary and this will end. It'll be back to me. Click on next. And now step 2, I need to add a delegate. Important note on this one, and this is true of all the delegations across Cardinal Financials, they have to be within the same agency. And also they have to have the same approval roles for the transactions being delegated. So this is not a way to give security roles to someone. This is just a way to delegate your particular lane. So this is, with this one, I have somebody in mind already. So I'm going to click Add Delegate, and I'm going to type in their user ID. It's my good friend VPR Test User 2. Done. All right. There we go. Okay, then I go to the next button. I've picked the person out. And by the way, you may be thinking, but I want to add, 2 or 3 more people here. You have to go do this, each of these steps for each person that you want to delegate approval authority to. You can delegate to more than one person. All right, I'm going to click next. When I come in here, I can choose which do I want to give. So I can give all of these different permissions here. Notice GL journal approval in addition to purchase orders and requisitions in this case. Now, in my case, I only want to give this person requisitions, not everything, just this one, my approval authority for requisitions. That's all I'm doing. And then click next. Now, of course, it's going to let me review before I submit. If I need to go back, I can and fix things, which here they all are. Right person, the right dates, everything, the right transactions, everything looks good. So I'll click submit. And that is how we delegate approval authority. Go back out to the home page. That concludes my demonstration of the Cardinal Upgrade for procurement. Hopefully you can see how the Procurement WorkCenter is structured to be your one-stop location for most of your procurement tasks, and also how we can do approvals and delegations. We have created detailed job aids, including an overview of the Cardinal Financials WorkCenters, which will be available to you at Go Live. These job aids cover everything discussed today and more. As Kate from the video said, wouldn't it be nice to have one place to access all your tasks? Well, now you do. With that, I'll pass it back to Dana.
Well, thank you, Eric. We do have a couple of questions we haven't answered yet.
I sure do. So the first one that I'm going to ask came from Angela, and it's going to go to Shrivanti. What time does the delegation end on that date? Shrivanti.
Yeah, hi. So the delegation end date selected in the demonstration is 8/22. So the delegation will end the midnight of 8/22.
Awesome. Thank you so much. VJ, are you ready to talk about the attachments?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'll ask the question, will attachments be shown on the approvals for PO rec?
Yes, the attachments will be shown on the POs and rec file approval.
Excellent. So the answer is yes to that one, but again, we wanted to make sure, so we did a little test right in between. So there were some questions about favorites, but I wanted to clear up, will my favorites still be there after the system is upgraded? And in this scenario, because we are changing pages, there's some technical background that there are new pages within Cardinal Financials that you'll be accessing. We are not saving favorites because they would go to dead links. We'll have a little communication and a little activity for you all to confirm what your favorites are, so that, and take some screenshots so that you can re-enter them at the time of our upgrade go live. The hope is that with this use of the system and the use of the work centers, that they'll be a little bit more accessible. And then there was another question about training environment. Did want to also just acknowledge that although there are many changes to the system, we feel like these are much more related to navigation and the look and feel of things. So functionality is all remaining the same. So what we've done is we're not going to have a training environment to do testing for our users. Instead, we'll have lots of job aids, and then, of course, this session to help people get familiar with what things are going on. We have another question from Timothy. Timothy asked, where would the old Fin report manager rest in the new system for running Explore expenditure drill downs? Trader.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everyone. So you will have a couple of ways you can access that old Fin report manager. You will have a tile, report manager tile on the home page itself that you can access. And then even through the work center that Eric showed, right, there's other links section in the work center where you can get to the report manager as well and do your drill downs from there.
To circle back, we wanted to doubly check that the time for the delegation on that date, going back to that question, it is at midnight of that day, so, or 11:59. So there you have it. Those are the questions we've got so far. I think if you have more questions, please keep coming in the chat. And I'm going to turn it back to Dana. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, everybody, thank you for all of your input so far. Hopefully, once you get in there and see the fabulous new work centers, that will resonate with you. And again, we have a great new job aid that should help you out on this. Well, we appreciate your feedback. That really does help us with our job aids and the communications that we still plan to send out. So stay tuned for all of that. Okay, so just so you're all aware, we have added a new upgrade page to the Cardinal website. We've given you the URL here. This is where you're going to find links to all of our upgrade communications, the special videos and infographics we've created. All of the recordings and the presentation decks from each of the webinars are also included here. So we encourage you to bookmark this page and keep checking back regularly as we continue to add resources. Julie, before we wrap up, do we have any more questions?
We also had a question, can you end a delegation early? The answer is yes, you can revoke that delegation at any point and it will stop with delegating. And then we finally have a question, even if favorites are not transferred, will you be able to create favorites? Absolutely. So Eric did show where you could go back in, and if you have access to HCM, this similar functionality where you can go in and mark your favorites. So that you can come back and look at those at any time. Alrighty, I think that is all for the day. We really appreciate y'all coming out. And Dana, do you want to close us out?
Yep, that is the end of today's session. On behalf of the Cardinal team, we really thank you for carving out time out of your day to be with us. Your engagement, the chat questions, all of it is really what helps us make our resources as useful as possible for you. We're excited about what's coming in September, and we hope today gave you a clearer picture of what to expect. So take care and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all.